welcome. I'm so glad you tuned us in today. We have a busy show ahead and some really good information to share with you. And we're going to, you know what? Daylight saving is here. The sun is going to shine. We have God's beautiful world all around us. And sometimes we're just too busy. We're too much in front of a television set or a computer. And our children, we've got ideas about how families can do things together in the summertime. Now that we have daylight saving and everything there for us, there are places you can go to hike. There are things you can do that cost no money, and it brings you together. We have an expert here, and we're going to talk about, her book is called Forever Wild Parenting. It's about getting outside and enjoying what God gave us. And even if you're not a parent, there are things we can all do. And if you're a grandparent, you can do them with your grandchildren. Talking about being in the outdoors, we're going to start on a journey that is hundreds and hundreds of miles away from the upstate of South Carolina. And I wanted to bring you a little more information, an update about Shelby McKinney. So if they have if the director has the pictures, let's start with that. About doing big things when you're young. Shelby McKinney is a girl from Spartanburg, and she is now in Africa. She's going to be, I suppose, in various places around the world, spreading God's word and love to many people. And we're just so proud of Shelby, and we have an update. She was in Cape Town, and she has moved on from there, and there she sits. That's where she writes her notes every day. And then she works with small children and people. She's with a group of missionaries. And it's an amazing story. And this last picture, the whole group together is in Swaliland. And I just wanted to share, we're proud of a young woman who has stepped out and doing such marvelous things with her life and sharing her love and the love of God. And you saw some of those pictures she's with children. But talk about being out and about. I think Shelby McKinney takes the cake for that. But we have somebody else right here who likes to get out and about. And I'm just pleased to have Laura Tyler Blend here. And her book is called Forever Wild Parenting. And thank you for coming. Now, you're not advocating that parents go to Africa with their children, but that was just a beautiful story. And it inspires other people. We don't have to pick up and go great distances, but we need to turn off the television, turn off the computers, and just get outside. Is that your message?
That is. If we could just take a minute to see how the landscape of childhood has changed. It's gone from outdoors to indoors. The average person spends at least 8 hours in front of a screen. Mm-hmm. And only 7 minutes in the outdoors. And it's resulted in nature deficit disorders, things like a little child just born today has 1 in 3 chances of getting diabetes. That's a tremendous increase. It's due to childhood obesity and diet. Other things are like the greatest increase in prescription drugs for controlling behavior are now being prescribed for little kids 4 years old and under, and doctors realize that we just can't stay on those behavior control drugs all of our lives and have a shot at a normal life. But depression is very severe now, and
Well, Laura, Linda, you were an educator, are an educator, for 34 years. You have 2 degrees from Clemson University, and you have taught from graduate school all the way down to 3-year-olds.
right.
And you have this wonderful idea, Forever Wild Parenting. And it's something that is doable in our world. People all say, oh, well, I'm so busy and I don't have time to. It doesn't take a huge amount of time or effort to plan a hike,
Right.
throw some peanut butter sandwiches and a couple of apples in a bag, and tell your kids we're going to have an adventure.
Right, and medical research says 15 minutes a day, the way God has wired our bodies, being in the outdoors at creative play 15 minutes a day away from any screens does a whole lot to restore our bodies and our minds and our emotions and our mental capacities. It's just a prescription, playing in the outdoors. What more fun doctor's prescription can you get than for somebody to tell you to go play? So our family is very much involved in encouraging creative play, and we do this in lots of different ways. And it doesn't have to be in any directed form. Just like you said, 15 minutes a day. Just laying down in your lawn and being quiet and listening to the birds or listening to the wind or it is really fun to mimic different animals. Whether it's hoo, 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 just play with it. It's all kinds of things that you can do, or you can buy calls or going on night hikes. That is so exciting to go on night hikes.
Well, now we do have a phone number and a website, and if people would like to get involved and know more about what Linda Tyler Blend does and how this all came about, you're welcome. We're going to leave that up there. Now, you brought, Linda, this wonderful poster. Your outdoor adventure is waiting. Look at that. That's beautiful. And that's just an idea of some of the things that people can do.
Right, and as you said, it doesn't cost a whole lot of money. It's just carving out some time to go have some fun with people you love and creating fun memories. These memories turn into traditions.
There you have people in a canoe and people walking in the woods. I don't know why our world has become so complicated, but I think you mentioned stress and diabetes and all these things as a result.
Right, they are nature deficit disorders. We've had the internet for 30 years, and we can correlate our statistics to what's happening in screen time. And we're not advocating getting away from technology. We just want to manage technology. We don't want it to manage us. Little kids who are being sleep deprived, you can't tell the difference between ADD and sleep deprivation in their behavior in the classroom.
You can't.
No. I could be deprived of sleep, and I do not have ADD, but I could go without the sleep that I need, and before long I would have the symptoms of ADD.
Well, now we do have many children in our schools that are on medication.
Yeah.
And maybe some of that could be avoided.
Well,
do doctors just automatically prescribe that?
No, there's all kind of testing that's going on, but a lot of time parents go in and request that they get some Ritalin or some other drugs, to behavior control drugs, to help their kids focus. Well, you know, it would probably take me too long to try to explain the brain chemistry, but there's a lot of, the brain is made up of gray matter and white matter. Because of the way the digital technology is just demanding so much of our time, the amount of digital, let's say, when you look at a screen, you can only watch something for 2 or 3 seconds, and then it changes. You have, every few seconds it changes, and what this does is it changes the number of white cells in your brain. The number of white cells is increased, and has increased 20%. The number of gray gray matter in your brain cells that are gray matter, have decreased. And what's happened is that white matter is controlled with reaction time. The gray matter is controlled with thinking and meditating and qualitative thinking and reasoning capacity. That's decreasing. Some studies have come out of China where they have actually been diagnosed little kids with dementia that has resulted from overuse of screen time. So what we would like to do is to just manage it. When we go with our friends on these tours, we sit around the table, eat a delicious meal, and ask them how they are handling it. I know one family I talked to the other day, they have 7 grandchildren, and they only allow 30 minutes of screen time a day. But these are little preschool age kids. If you go to a restaurant today, you can sit up in a restaurant, and you know, that's a real fun time for a date time for a husband and wife. And you can literally sit around the restaurant and see a husband and wife not talking to each other. One of them's on a gadget.
Yeah, you're right.
Or when we were little, we used to pack our diaper bags with coloring books and color crayons and stuff. They pack them with electronic gadgets, so there is no communication. We've done research. The average amount of time that a parent spends in any kind of contact with their child is 2¼ hours. The amount of time that a little kid spends directly in front of a screen, talking with nobody else, is 8 hours a day. So it's almost
It's become the national babysitter.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Now tell me about this book, Forever Wild Parenting. If somebody has this book, what is the purpose and what can we gain from it?
The purpose is to just record family stories and adventures in the outdoors. So if somebody did grow up in front of the screen, you have to be 48 years old and older to have grown up in the outdoors. In America, anybody less than 48 has probably been in front of a screen, has grown up in front of a screen. So those of us who are grandparent age and older are trying to figure out a way we can pass on some fun ideas of how we learned life's most important lessons. And I think that's a laugh out loud book, but it's true. Did you have a chance to read any of it?
I read some of it, yes.
It's
wonderful.
It's humorous, but it's true. But you remember those lessons. Hands-on learning is a lot more effective because it uses all the senses of the body, and we don't forget those hands-on learning experiences.
Well, we're going to have to take a quick break, but I think I'm so grateful that you wanted to share this with people, because now we're entering the time of year, and school will soon be out, and you don't have to have every minute programmed for your children. Now, it's wonderful for kids to go to camp. There's none of those things are bad, but you want to be able to spend time as the most precious thing we can give to our children. And just taking a child by the hand and taking a walk around your neighborhood, and take a bag, and if you see trash, pick it up. There are all kinds of things you can do that don't cost money, but they do take time.
Yes.
And we're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, we have more to share, so stay with us.